On the show tonight, we share some more tips on how you can help your neighborhood watch to keep your area safe. We have a chat to Linda from the Botlare Rural Farm Watch. We have our regular first aid tip and some neighborhood watch feedback. Stay tuned. Folks, good evening and welcome to the Power Hour. Same show, new name. But before we go any further, like always, my friend, my co-host, my partner in crime fighting, Graham.
Graham, good evening. Good evening, Aristo. How are you?
No, man. Always lekker to be back here and on the show, on a sort of a show with a new identity, nevertheless.
Yes. We finally have a name.
Yep. A bit more on that one just now, folks. So as we said, we've got a nice full program today. I see we started a bit late due to Eskom and all the load shedding, things go wrong. We're just trying to get our guest online. Hopefully we'll get her online by the time. But in the meantime, while we wait for that, let's quickly go through all the, the normal unnecessary, or not unnecessary, but the normal things we normally go through. Like, folks, again, we'll quickly give you all the contact details. Let's just get to the right screens here. If you've got any questions for our guests or anything, remember you can WhatsApp us. There, the number is on the screen. Again, sorry, I can't see it because I'm being blocked by a big camera in my face. It looks like I'm looking nicely at you guys. You can always email us at liveshow@extra.co.za, and that email is always open. The WhatsApp, unfortunately, only sort of an hour before the show starts, we open that. You're welcome to send WhatsApps there. You can also obviously chat to us on the live stream, on the live chat. It is a bit delayed sometimes, but we do keep our eye on it, and we try and get to those comments as we can. Graham sometimes has to remind me, hey, check there's a comment, because I've got lots of buttons to push on this side. So yeah, that's how to get in touch with us. You can also obviously get us on our Facebook groups. We'll give that to you a bit later. And then I think, Graham, as we said, we finally got a new name. We handed the prizes over in the week to Tracy that won them. A nice big prize there. What did we give her? We gave her some firelighters from Eleni.
Vouchers.
Some gift vouchers. Yes.
There we go.
Yeah. So we'll go in a bit on that later. I think that's sort of the if we can say the admin stuff done for tonight. I see we're still waiting for our guest. We hope she gets on the show in time. But in the meantime, Graham, what's been going on in Neighborhood Watch land?
Well, from the Neighborhood Watch perspective, obviously it's Tuesday night briefings at 8:00. We had another successful briefing this past Tuesday with a number of patrollers out. So for those patrollers who were out, thank you very much. It was great touching base with you and just catching up with what was happening in our area. I think it's been a busy week. There's been a bit of activity and things to keep your eye on within the streets. But other than that, I think it's been a very good week. We're building up to Neighborhood Watch activities increasing in the next week or so. So to all of the patrollers who are listening, please make contact, get some hours patrolled, come and help us. And then to the general public, if you see a Neighborhood Watch patroller patrolling, maybe doing a dog walk or even riding a bicycle, stop, say hello, chat with them, ask them how they're doing. If you're interested in joining Neighborhood Watch, chat with them. They can assist you, or alternatively contact us on our Facebook page as well. That's from our Neighborhood Watch side. The next bit of news will be Burgundy Estates. They're, as we previously mentioned, they're a newly formed Neighborhood Watch, and they have a newly formed committee. So we'd just like to congratulate everybody there. Their chairman is Ryan van der Vent. Their vice chairman is Jason Nivout. The head of operations is Fernley Pedrica. Fernley, apologies if I've pronounced that incorrectly. The secretary is Sally Ann Vermaak. Technical is Frederick van Sale. Communications is Robbie Pedrica. Once again, apologies if I got that incorrect. And then the treasurer is Bianca van der Merwe. Guys, congratulations on forming your first committee. Congratulations on forming your first neighborhood watch. We're looking forward to great times and great things. And once again, we're here to assist. You let us know how we can assist, and we're there. Thank you very much for your assistance in our areas in the past couple months leading up to this as well. It's very much appreciated. And we're looking forward to many patrolling hours and meeting some of your patrollers, sharing a bit of knowledge. Maybe you guys are going to be teaching us a thing or two as well in the very near future. So looking forward to that. But yes, I think other than that, it's been a good week. And yeah. Congratulations.
Sorry, Graham, you'll have to keep the people busy a bit. I'll be with you now. We're just quickly trying to sort out Linda. She's having a bit of a technical issue there. Let's see if we can get it sorted.
That's not a problem. Aristo, I'm going to ask if we can then move over through to, I think it's Gary, and let's move on to the medical side of things while you guys get Linda all prepped for us.
Yeah, I think we can do that. So give me a sec. Let's get all our intros ready there quickly. As I say, we're hoping to get Linda sorted. So yeah, as Graham says, while we get that sorted, let's move on to the medical thing and see what they've got to share with us this week.
Perfect. Hi there, Gary. How are you?
Hi, Graham. Well, thanks. How are you doing?
No, can't complain. As I said, it's been a good week.
Yes, it has been.
Gary, I was thinking a little bit earlier on. What we cover so many topics in this, and to be honest, I started wondering what can we discuss next. And I sat thinking back to when I was much younger. I lived in Richwood. We lived in Buitengracht Street. There was an accident, and I remember my parents calling an ambulance. It was a relatively serious accident, and my parents notified them that it was in Buitengracht Street. And I think it must have been about 3 hours later when the ambulance finally arrived, due to the fact that that ambulance actually went into Cape Town city centre and not into Richwood. So that got me thinking, when at an accident scene, and you never know when these scenes or events take place, if you are call it the first person on the scene, what are the things we need to do? What should we take into consideration? How do we go about furnishing the right information, etc.? What advice could you give us on that?
Okay, right. So, folks, if you are a witness to an accident scene or you've got a medical emergency and you need to contact the emergency services, obviously we need to have those numbers handy, and I know they have been given out previously, not only by myself but by my colleague Alan, who's filled in and done some of these tips. Have the correct emergency numbers at the ready, and then you've got to give as much information as possible. For example, let's use Graham's example, Buitengracht Street in Richwood. We need to tell the call taker that Buitengracht Street, Richwood, and say Richwood in the Cape Town or close to Bottersig, close to Burgundy, whatever, and give them landmarks in the street itself. You know, it's at number 30 Buitengracht Street. It's a blue house with a pink roof, and there's a big tree across the road, or there's a yellow dirt bin on the corner or something, but give some form of landmark. And then obviously you want to give as much information relating to the incident. If it's a motor vehicle accident, possibly how many vehicles are involved, how many people are involved, are the people all sort of conscious? Are they able to speak to you? Are the people trapped in their vehicles? Because that's going to depend on the resources that is going to be dispatched to you. So, folks, it's very important that we give as much information as possible, but particularly to get the emergency services to your address, it's very, very important to give to give landmarks, and also very important, a contact number on the scene, whether it's you yourself, your contact details, or if somebody else, if you phone in on behalf of somebody else, give their details so that the caller can, the call taker can call them back and possibly get additional information.
Yes. Okay. So now we've gotten to the point the accident scene has taken place. We've gotten hold of the emergency services. We've let them know that it's, for example, Buitengracht Street, and it's right in front of the bus stop. There's 2 vehicles, 3 passengers. What would you then do from that point? So we know emergency services are coming. I assume we would then have to evaluate or assess at least the condition of those passengers, of those vehicles.
Well, first of all, safety. That is, I have to say that the way I did now, because it's very important. Safety of the scene, safety of yourself. It's no good you running around and trying to help and you aren't looking after your own safety. So you need to possibly utilize bystanders, other people who are there, because invariably there's an accident scene. We're going to get people coming to see if they can assist, or perhaps rubbernecking, as we would call it. But we need to let people make themselves useful, block off the road, stop traffic coming through here, or divert traffic, etc., etc. And then someone needs to take charge. If it's you, for example, determine how many people are injured, find out, get as much information as possible regarding if the person's conscious, and they can tell you, where they're hurting, get their medical history. All this type of thing is very important, so that we can pass it on to the first arriving emergency services teams that arrive on your scene.
And I suppose, for example, if it is a car accident, you would call, for example, the emergency services, an ambulance, notify SAPS. Do you then, which of the emergency services would you need to notify? Or is that deployed from an ambulance call center maybe? Do they notify the local SAPS or the fire department if necessary?
Now, I would put the call out, if you have the numbers, I would call the ambulance first because you've got injuries, and also call, if you have it, the fire department, because they can come and ensure safety. If people are trapped in the vehicle, for example, or maybe not even trapped, but the fire department can assist the ambulance personnel, the emergency services, or shall I say emergency medical services, to extricate the patient from the vehicle if need be. But try and keep the patients as still as possible. If they're in the vehicles, leave them there if they can. We don't want them walking around. We don't know the injuries. And with respect, you may not have the necessary first aid training or skills here. So you don't want to go and just make decisions on behalf of everybody. Rather let them sit still, and you rather gather the information that you can. Obviously, if you've got something, if a person's bleeding, for example, say a nasty gash on the forehead, we want to stop bleeding. Improvise. You may not have a first aid kit, but improvise. Use a clean towel or something, and just as long as you put pressure on the wound to stop the bleeding, that's something that you could do in the meantime.
Yes. And then in an accident scene, especially a motor vehicle accident scene, you're going to have vehicles that are not going to stop and still try and proceed past it. So, as you mentioned earlier on, utilize the people that are around you and that are willing to maybe try and close off a section of the street pertaining to the accident, assisting vehicles to understand that they might need to change lanes, and be aware of your surroundings while doing that, because it is obviously a very dangerous position to be in if you are standing in the road, and then naturally hand over to the emergency services. For example, if traffic arrive, naturally hand over to them who are trained to be able to handle that type of environment.
Yes, no, definitely. And as I say, as the various emergency services start arriving, you can then give the necessary information over to them. Find out who's in charge. For example, if the fire department arrives, find out who is the officer and report to that person. Give him or her the necessary, as much information as possible, and then they will take it from there.
Yeah. And then lastly, I think it's a problem, maybe South Africans, maybe it's only Cape Townians. Everybody's interested to know what goes on at these scenes. So I would say that if you have the time and the ability to hold people back from the scenes, to allow the medical services the space, the room that they require to assist the injured. There is nothing worse, I'm sure, as a medic, than not being able to move around because you've got a lot of inquisitive individuals.
Quite correct. So as I say, I refer to it as rent a crowd. Get the bystanders or people involved to keep them back, but also point out to them, a lot of people like to come to these scenes and take photographs. That's something that is taboo. It's not allowed. You can be charged criminally for that. You're not allowed to take photographs at an accident scene, particularly of injured persons, or worse still, if someone's deceased. You certainly cannot do that. It is against the law. So people need to know not to do that type of thing. And if you see people doing that on the scene, just inform them and get them to stop doing that.
Yes. Then I see Aristo's put it up. Thank you, Jacques van Deventer. We hope that you are well. If I can read that, Jacques would like to thank everyone that helped him when he had a motorcycle accident on Edgemead Drive on Wednesday morning, the 19th of May. Jacques, we would like to say thank you to everybody who helped you as well. We're glad you got the assistance that was required. And if there was any injuries, we hope you have a speedy recovery on that. Gary, I'm going to say thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it, and looking forward to having a chat with you again soon.
Thanks, Graham. Thank you.
No, only a pleasure. Rista, I don't know if you can hear me. Are we ready with Linda?
There we go. Yes, Graham. We see she has popped up there. Linda,
right.
You can see us there. We're going to be with you now. Linda did send me a little clip. Just before we get to Linda, quickly, Linda, bear with us a few seconds. We got this
I've
in.
disrupted the schedule.
There we go. Burgundy, it is a great pleasure. Welcome to our area, and we're looking forward to working with you guys many, many more. And then I think, Jacques, if you don't mind, we'll put this on there. He shared with us. Almost there's still 4 ribs broken. I think, Jacques, that's the worst thing, to have broken ribs. But yeah, as Graham said, speedy recovery. And we're glad that the people were there to assist you in that unfortunate incident. So, folks, something interesting, something that I don't think many of us know. We certainly don't get to do with this. We did get a little, sorry, now I must just find it again. We just did get a little clip here. Farm Watch, Rural Farm Watch. Have you ever heard of that, Graham? I've heard people talk about that, but tonight we'll find out a bit more about that. So before we get to Linda, let's quickly just show you this small little thing they sent us. I don't know how loud the volume is going to be. If it's too loud, just turn down a bit, but check this out. There we go. Oops, I forgot to
go.
press the button. And there we go. Linda, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening.
evening,
Thank
Linda.
you for having me here.
So, Linda, before we go anywhere further, please, Rural Farm Watch. What is it and what do you guys do? I mean, we here in the city side, this is not something we normally hear about. So, yeah, please tell us, what is that all about?
Yeah, that is one of the clips that I've sent you with regards to fire services. We've got a whole different range of services. Basically, what it is we all know about farmers, and normally we a little bit far out. So response time of security companies is always very long, or a lot of times very long. So we've immobilized and we got together the Bottleray Rural Farm Watch. We're one of the tiniest little farm watches you will ever find, but I think one of the most efficient. So what we've done is we've taken hands, as you can see in the video, we've got a lot of different vehicles in there, different security companies, ambulance people, everything. So the key here is taking hands with the community, including everybody around us, making the farmers aware of what's going on around them, and just be vigilant. We're a team of tactical people that is basically 24-hour on call, and then we respond to any emergencies. Emergencies we've had range from somebody that locked herself in a house with dogs barking, right up to farm murders. We've had a very big vehicle accident last night and the night before. The past week, Bottleray Road, is the people that lives in the Brackenfell-Stellenbosch area would probably know that the Bottleray Road was closed quite a few times in the past week due to accidents. And on all those accidents, the team would be there. You would be seeing them in the reflected jackets. You will be seeing them handling the traffic, assisting with the injured, doing crowd control, getting the people away, stopping people from taking unnecessary pictures, stopping any further accidents from happening. Basically just doing everything up until the time that the officials is on the scene. But most of the time, they tell us just continue on, just carry on with what you're doing, or they will aid us with whatever they think we need assistance with, and we will work hand in hand with them further, as well as the security companies in the area, as well as our local ambulance people as well, and our fire brigade is big stars. And I can't say thank you enough for our traffic controllers, our traffic department. They go above and beyond almost every time.
Yeah, I must say it was quite interesting to see in the clip that all the various vehicles, the same we have here in our areas. I think you guys are just spread out a lot wider than what we are. I mean, we've also got, we work with everybody, and it's like one big happy family.
Yeah.
So
that's basically what we've done. Yeah, some of the other clips complete. You will actually see the mountain rescue we've done with the AMS choppers, and there's a lot of things going on farms that people don't actually know about. And we just try our best to keep our farmers safe and everybody around us safe.
Yeah. I think there's obviously a lot of similarities. The concept is the same as what for a traditional neighborhood watch. However, the geography is totally different. I drive down streets where, depending on load shedding, the lights are on. And I generally can see almost straight to most people's front doors, or at least well into their gardens. And I can drive slowly and I can basically see what's going on. However, if it's a rural area, small holdings, farms, that must be quite a challenge.
It is actually a challenge, yes.
So do you use more specialized equipment, to high-powered torches? Because, the only thing I can compare it to is driving up the West Coast at night where, everything is just dark. How do you handle those things? What
our vehicles,
skills do you need for that?
Vehicles. Yeah, we equipped our vehicles with visibility lights. We have to adhere to the traffic rules on how the vehicles are allowed to be decorated, if I can put it that way.
Yes.
The other thing is communication. We've got an amazing communication system. We actually have basically 3 groups on the Bottleray route, which is the Bottleray Algemene group, which is all
Yes.
the farmers is on there, and then they can say, listen, here's cows in the road, or drive carefully, whatever the problem is. And then we've got the emergency group. That is a group where you say help. And the moment you say help, everybody gets up. Then we've got what we call the Bottleray Rural Operations Group, is the boots on the ground group. The rural operations group is only a handful of our farm watch peoples, and that is our people that is now physically responding to whatever the problem is.
Okay.
So all the communication takes place over there. But we've actually have a very special and a very unique system going currently. We always say it's our baby, we're raising it by hand. What we have done from the Bottleray rural side is we've taken all the farm watches right up from the R44 to Kulenhof, Klapmutz, and all those areas. And what we've done is we are doing joint operations with them in order for us to start knowing each other, etc. So it's a huge operation every time. It's a lot of vehicles. That does include K9s and Netcare 911 vehicles, the cruisers in there, and it's a lot of farmers and a lot of farm watchers. And then we start patrolling each other's area as a big unit. By doing that is we create what we call a show of force operation. The show of force just makes it easier, and it's not as difficult for you as an individual or even a crowd of people to attack a group of us than it is to attack 1 or 2 farmers maybe.
Yes.
So basically what we do is we go in full force, we are battle ready, we are action ready, and we are absolutely ready. I think we have encountered one thing that we have not gotten to do in the past, and that was a woman getting bit by a donkey. That was the only thing we haven't done. But, but further on, from catching snakes, getting snakes out of people's houses, to armed robbery, rolling stops, hijacked vehicles, hijacked with hostage situations. I would almost tell you, you can name a situation, and we have successfully managed to control that. But it's not something that came overnight.
Yes. So tell me, when you're patrolling, obviously, as I've said, a lot of it's in the dark, more remote areas. Do you have a certain number of patrollers on at any given point? Is it a scenario of 2 patrollers have to be out at the same time for safety and security, or how do you guys run that?
We've got a saying that says you walk alone, you die alone. So we have got a very specialized situation with regards to that. Whenever someone leaves their house, we get pin drops and we give pin drops, and we are in constant communication. You've got about a minute where you have to reply, up to 3 minutes where you have to reply before everybody starts looking for you. And if somebody goes out and you are alone, there is an incident where you have to unfortunately enter alone. There will be eyes on you. We do have equipment. We do have people with equipment that will have eyes on you. So you will not, although you won't have somebody with you right there, there will be people having eyes on you, seeing what the situation is, assessing it. But as I said, we're most probably the smallest neighborhood watch in the history, or farm watch in the history. But yeah, we've learned how to utilize what we've got, and that is our security companies. By taking hands with our security companies is absolutely amazing. So when one of us leaves the area, we always report and say, I'm leaving the area, I will be out till this and that time, etc. We've got a system where I would go out, for instance, I'm going to use one example. I'll have to go out. There's a vehicle that we don't know who it is and what the situation is. Then what I do is I report. I'm going out now, wait for my backup, which will probably either a second farm watch member or a security company. Then we approach the vehicle, a tactical approach. When we get to the vehicle, we do a pin drop. We give through the registration number, make and model of the vehicle. and then our operational manager would then do the rest. We don't have to be on a scene and say, okay, now we have to call fire, we have to call this and that, and then the scene comes to a halt. We've got always have one member that will be in the background, and he will handle the logistics. He's the one that will phone the security, the police, the fire brigade, the ambulance. He's the one that will keep on following up, giving ETAs, and so we don't have to worry about that. You put your phone back and you start handling the situation, and he will then make sure that the logistics come together. Who needs to be phoned will be phoned. He will follow up until the time that they're there. We do, as you can see, we're not very much into the limelight or the shine of everything. We like to disappear once everybody is on scene, and then make a big hoo-ha and to say thank you to everybody that helps.
Yes.
We don't really like to get our name out there, but we like to make sure that the people that was there and that actually did help gets praised, and that their names go up there. Yes.
Yeah. We work very closely in our area with our various armed response companies, and I can think of numerous times where even the armed response call centers have been beneficial in assisting us in handling certain scenes, because they have resources literally at their fingertips. So having brought the various role players in, that's pivotal for any security operation like this. So yes, I'm really glad to hear that. That's
everybody's on scene, from K9s to disaster management, law enforcement, mountain rescue, SPCA, Cape Nature, the ambulances, different security companies. We actually make sure that when we get on a scene and we need somebody more than what we needed on the last scene, we make sure that we find out who is the person. So I don't call a vehicle, I can't call the security, the control room. Yes. Or we can just do a direct call to disaster management, and then they handle the rest. So we did put in place a whole system where I would say with one call you can have all the assistance that you actually need. For instance, with a hiker or the cyclist that was down, by the time the chopper was dispatched, we had everything from his medical aid to the number to the LZ being ready. Yes. All the logistics was done, so it's just lock, load, and go.
That is
and
fantastic,
we always make sure that the crowd is well managed. Yes. Remember, on the rural area, when there's an accident, that is actually a shopping place now, free shopping. So we have to maintain a barrier and a perimeter around that scene in order to keep the patients that is at the most vulnerable now safe. And you have to control the crowd. And we also have the gang violence here. We also have the problems here. You seldom stop somebody here that is not armed in some form of way. So driving through Botlaray during the day is a breeze, but driving through here at night can really end up in a bit of a nightmare if you don't know anybody.
I can imagine, Linda. Linda, I just want to say on that note, thank you very much for everything that you do for your community on that side, which is part of the greater Cape Town community that we're all in. So thank you very much. Thank you for taking the initiative, for taking the time, for assisting in building a functional unit within that area. And looking forward to actually having a couple more chats in the future. I'm sure we can learn something from your side and the way that you do things. I think that could be a learning curve for us as well.
I believe so as well. We've got one motto. Our saying is, you walk alone, you die alone. Our motto is, you learn every time you get on a scene, you have to learn one thing extra. So we believe that even something insignificant can be beneficial to us. So we love to go and ask people, what is the success on your side? We love to get tips and tricks, because everything can be utilized.
No, most definitely. But Linda, once again, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate you making the time to come on the show with us and showing us a bit of another side to the Neighborhood Watch structures.
Anytime. Thank you for asking me and thank you for the invite.
Yeah, I
I
think
just like
before Linda leaves us for the evening, Linda, here by our side, Graham and I and the rest of the guys here at Botasag Neighborhood Watch, we're very keen on, getting to know our neighbors. I suppose you guys are 3 steps neighbors away, but I really think, Graham, we must make a plan and go join them one night and maybe invite them into our quieter areas one night and see how different it is. I think that way we can share some tips, and I think we'll learn a lot. So, Linda, we're definitely going to be in touch and see if we can arrange a few of our members to join you, and one day you feel your members
that
join
is
us.
amazing. Yeah, my operational manager, Villa Fisagi, always says, know your neighbor. That's what's keeping you safe. So seeing that you are neighbors and seeing that we actually took your Wispel head now over to Brackenfell, and we're very, very excited to have him here. But yes, you're welcome. We will come over to your side one day, and you're more than welcome to come over to our side one day, and we can just make sure a little bit ahead that all the paperwork is done and all the legalities is there, and then you're more than welcome anytime.
We're definitely going to arrange something like that. Linda, thank you very much. I'm sure a lot of people have learned some things that they didn't probably know existed outside of our little area. Thanks for joining us, and we'll definitely be in touch.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. Thanks for a wonderful show.
Hey,
Bye.
There we go, Graham. That was something I think not many people know about, that there's actually those little rural watchers or farm watchers out there that deal with a lot, well, probably the same if it comes to MBAs and stuff, but also they've got their own different challenges.
I think all of their challenges have got just a slightly different take on it, because the area, the circumstances are just that different, Yeah,
we'll definitely going
to. There they drive through the dark. For us, we know most of the street names, and I think between the farms, I wonder how many of those streets have names. So the description of where you are changes the game a little bit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going to meet out with those guys and having a bit of a chat with them. So, folks, there's it. That was something interesting. I think we've jumbled the show around a bit tonight. So before we go further with a few tips and other next things, obviously we need to do the good thing and thank our sponsors, who without we cannot put the show aboard. So our first and our big sponsor, our anchor sponsor, Total Control Electrical. Please go visit Dave and the team down here at the Village Center. They've got some awesome stuff. Dave is also, he sponsored a 1,000 Rand voucher towards the naming of the show, which was handed out. And then, of course, the guys from Extra Productions, sitting here, me pressing all the buttons and making sure the show gets on the air and everybody is linked like it should be. And then Gerdo RC, yes, for all their support. And just watch it. One of these days, they'll be either part of our show or another show. You'll learn a bit more about Gerdo RC. It's very exciting. So, yeah, without these sponsors, we can't put the show on, and we're very grateful for their help. So, Graham, looking at the time, we've got about 20 minutes to stick to our name now. But I think what we're going to do quickly, folks, we've been chatting a bit about safety tips and all that type of things. I think just to add a few more things and to add on what Gary said earlier with the emergency calls, we as Neighborhood Watch, and for us, it's probably not as problematic as for other people, but as we patrol and drive around, it's scary to see how many houses do not have numbers on them, or there's no lights, or if we respond as medics to a street, you can't find the house, or there's no one standing outside, or there's no number, and when you get to the house, you've got 6-foot fences and there's no bell and we can't get into the house. So little things like that, I think, Graham, we must sort of try and ask the people, please get a number on your house. If you call for help, SAPs or anything you need, urgent help, for them to drive up and down and can't find the house, get someone out in the road, put some lights on, just get something to get some attention to your place, to notify the people that's where you are, because it's difficult. Look, for us as Neighborhood Watch, I think it's sort of easy because we know the streets and we know sort of number 1 is this side, number 25 is that side, so we have to be somewhere in the middle. But if an ambulance comes in, those guys go all over the Cape Town, Somerset West, all over. So for them, they don't know all the streets. And if you're waiting for an ambulance, there's nothing more frustrating if they can't find your house because there's no number, there's no light, anything, no one flagging them down.
Well, I think in a scenario like that, I would hate if I required an ambulance, I would hate the ambulance driver to slow down and start counting houses to try and figure out which is my house. And then I know if I think about some of the houses that I've seen in the area, you might have a number up, but it might be in such an obscure place that nobody would think of looking there. Maybe there's ivy grown in front of it, or a tree's grown in front of it. So I would encourage everybody to make sure that your number is at least visible as you're driving past the street. Clearly visible. That would definitely help.
Little changes like making sure your nice number is visible. We've done this thing where we have bin stickers made, or even if you don't have a bin sticker, write your street, your house number on your bin and just get someone to push it out in the road if you're waiting for an ambulance or something in front of your house to make it a bit more visible. And then I think talking on the thing with wheelie bins and stuff, please don't leave your wheelie bin outside overnight. Yeah. We've got a lot of people walking around in the streets at night. They're only walking around because the wheelie bins are there and they want to see what's in them. If we don't put our bins out at night, they won't be here to scratch. And also a bin out at night, it's a nice thing to stand on to get over a wall or a fence or something. So yeah, the truck I don't think comes past that early in the morning. But I think if we can get into the habit of rather putting bins out in the morning, we're also going to stop a lot of evening traffic where we can't see what's going on. Yes, they'll come out in daytime, but at least they're more visible then and we can see what's going on.
Yeah.
So I see here someone is luminous numbers, perhaps. Tracy, yes, it could work, but also luminous numbers usually needs a light or something to shine on them. And if you got it only on your house and you've got a big Vibercrete wall in front, again, we're not going to see it. So yes, that is a good idea, but just make sure it is visible and at least there's some sort of outside light that you can turn on to help people find the property a bit easier. And not drive past and up and down. We've had people, they say, oh, we saw the ambulance drive past and they didn't stop. It's just because they couldn't find. We saw you drive past 3 times, but they don't bother to come out and say, whoa, this is where you have to be. As I said earlier, remember, folks, ambulance personnel, even if it's a local company, they work not just Botasig. They can get called to the center of Cape Town. They can go to Atlanta. So they can't remember where all the street names, numbers, and everything are. So if we can help them with identifying houses, it will help them a lot to get to you quicker and give some help quicker.
Well, what might help in that scenario, Aristo, is if something has happened inside your house and you need an ambulance, maybe have one of the family members stand on the pavement in front of your house. At the minute the ambulance comes down, that person can physically wave the ambulance down to say, right, this is where you need to be.
Correct. Yes.
Because in certain cases, time is the essence. It's everything. You cannot spend another minute or two trying to find something, especially in those critical moments.
And I think on that, another thing to remember as well is, sometimes you got family members coming over because they're worried about what's happening. If that happens, ask them not to park in front of your house, because then we need that space to park the ambulance or emergency vehicles. Now, if you've got 5 cars in your driveway and 2 blocking your gate, the ambulance guy has to park down the road and push the stretcher. And then when he's got your family member or something on the stretcher taking to the ambulance, they have to push them all the way down the road over bumpy pavements. The closer that ambulance can get to your property and to your gates and to your doors, the easier it is to load the patient and get them the care they need quickly. So little tips and tricks you can bear in mind. So please, if you want us to sort of chat about a few more things, pop us some suggestions. We will we will continue this chat as we go along on every show.
But,
I will add a
Aristo,
few more. Yeah.
There's one exciting part that I'm still looking forward to. We've got the name of the show.
But
we need to know who got that prize.
do we really? Okay. Well, let's get to that then. So what we will do first is, let me just see if I can get all this. This is how they came among or got to the name of the show. Just bear with me. Graham, now you're going to have to tell me if you can hear this. Unfortunately, can't hear my side. But this is how the name came to be.
Aristo and Graham always said on the shows they didn't want the show to go on for longer than an hour, and it was always going on for longer than an hour. And the one episode with the medical tips my children were watching, and it was such a powerful show that they felt they learned so much from the one show. And with the names that the show was looking for, I just sat and went, Power Hour. And that is how I came up to my name, because it was powerful and it needed to be an hour.
So there we go. Interesting way they got to it.
Whose voice was that, Aristo?
That was the voice of Tracy. There we go. There with Dave receiving her prize. And folks, as you all saw, it was a very open decision. Voting on Facebook, that name got the most votes. So yes, Tracy walked away with it. You can see some lovely firelighters from L&E Firelighters. Those things are awesome. We had them on the show before. And as I know, you can get those firelighters at Plastics for Africa, or just look for their Facebook page. And then a gift voucher, Canal Walk gift voucher from Etra Productions and Geardo RC. And then, of course, the big one, the man smiling there behind his mask, Dave from Total Control, 1,000 Rand gift voucher to the winner. So thank you very much to Dave. Congratulations, Tracy. I hope that Total Control gift voucher and the Canal Walk voucher is going to come in very handy and fill a gap here and there.
No, definitely.
So that was our winner. But now, Graham, on the other hand, you also had let me pull this up. You also had an event the weekend that we sort of ran. Tell me, how did that go off?
Well, I attended the event. It wasn't my event. A 4x4ing family-orientated group called Off the Beaten Track pulled together a charity to feed, I think it was 50 families. And we all basically clubbed in and got ready for this event. When I arrived on Sunday morning and I started looking, and naturally I was almost 5 minutes late, and I saw the procession of cars coming in, I was actually overwhelmed. We had 77 4x4s, some of them filled to the brim with family members coming to enjoy a day at Utrecht Put. And boy, did we have a fantastic time there. It was, in certain cases, some nice soft sand to play in. In other cases, it was a clay and a mud terrain. So I don't think anybody drove that event without a big smile on their faces. So from that, I would like to say thank you to the organizers of Off the Beaten Track for pulling this together. It's a community-based initiative which is going to help 50 families, which makes a big difference. And then I'd like to say thank you to Hetty from Utrecht Put, who capped the number of entrants and donated the rest of the income to that charity as well. So Hetty and Gershwin, thank you very much for everything that you do in the 4x4 community, and for what you're now doing in this charity event for those families. It's fantastic in my personal capacity. It's fantastic being part of a group that is so charitable. So thank you. And yes, Aristo, it was a great day. Thanks to everybody who brought donations to my place, that I could carry that through to the charity event. That was much appreciated.
No, that's awesome. So I see, besides for the, if I hear correctly, besides for all the donations and stuff, you guys also had lots of fun in the mud and the sand and the stuff there with the 4x4s.
Most definitely. My car ended up having a full valet this past week. Yeah, I wasn't going to attempt to clean the car after that weekend.
I wouldn't either. So, folks, yes, please, if you know of any of more of these type of events, please let us know. We'll like to sort of, chat to the people a bit about them, get them out there, get a bit of feedback afterwards, get a photo or two. If it's not too far, maybe we can go out there. We'll do a little interview on the site. But in order for us to do this, we need the information and we need the people to help us and give us the information. So if you've got any information or you would like to get in contact with us, I will pop our stuff onto the screen again. Please pop us an email at liveshow@extra.co.za. Give us the contact details and we will contact the necessary people, get them on the show and see what we can do for them. And Graham, I'm almost forgetting, I just lost my script, but I caught it before I lost it. Folks, those of you that can remember, let me see if I've still got that poster here. Unfortunately, not. A while ago, we had the drive-through at SAPS.
Yes.
It was very successful, and it is happening again. If I'm now thinking, I think it's Saturday, the 3rd of July. It's the first Saturday of the next month. We're going to have a little lunchtime braai this time. And folks, it really is a drive-through. When you come and collect your food, which obviously we prefer you pre-order, and we will give you more details on that soon. You literally stop in front of the police station. You give us your name. Someone comes out with your food, take it, and off you go to a lovely lunch. And I can't even remember what I had last time. Whatever I had, it was awesome. So, yes, please keep an eye on the Facebook pages, the WhatsApp groups, the show. We'll give you more information. We're also going to, I think we'll give more details when everything is finalized. But the money raised is going to assist not only CPF, but also our local volunteer medics. And it's quite expensive for us to get to all the calls. So we're going to have a bit of a fundraising with CPF and then see if we can get a bit of a cash in there and help the medics out with some much needed equipment. But definitely keep an eye. Let me see.
Well, you're finding that I think one of the best parts of this concept is from a COVID perspective, you don't have to get out your vehicle. Literally, there will be cones parked down the side of the road in front of Boerdesig SAPS. There's a nice long, side road parking area, and you will be guided into that area. Your food will be brought to your vehicle, and then you can safely exit as well. And in that time, you could meet one of the paramedics that work within the area. You could probably meet from the CPF and maybe a SAPS individual. So you could see it as a meet and greet. Literally a meet and greet.
And don't worry, we'll all have our masks on, so you won't be able to identify us. But just see what jacket we're wearing. You'll know if it's a medic or a CPF or a Neighborhood Watch member. And we will try and get our juniors out there. I see Tracy has just sort of said, it's Children Protection Week. Yeah, we will see if we can touch a bit on that at the next show, which we'll see when we're going to bring that on. And there Debbie has given us the time. Yeah, Saturday the 3rd of July, 2021 at SAPS Boerdesig. And then Tracy, I'm not sure what area you from. Sorry, I'm just getting rid of this. SAPS visiting. Sorry, SAPS visiting. Tracy, what area are you guys in? We're not sure what they're doing this side on our end. See if she's going to answer. But yes, we've got all that. And on that, I think, Graham, our next show is sort of planned for. Tracy is from Boerdesig.
Yes.
Well,
I wouldn't be surprised if SAPS. I wouldn't be surprised if SAPS do send somebody out to the schools and chat with the kids. I know it has been done in the past, but at the moment I'm unfamiliar with whether they will be doing it specifically this week.
Yeah, I see Tracy saying she lives in Boerdesig and she teaches in Goodwood. Tracy, I think pop us an email. Maybe on the next show, come and have a chat to us and let's see what your kiddies did for Children's Protection Week. give us a thumbs up or something there in the comments and pop us an email and let's get you on the show and have a little chat.
Yeah.
So, folks, that sort of covers
I think
the
that
thing.
wraps it up.
We covered everything. We didn't forget anything.
To be honest, we jumped around so much. I'm not too sure whether we've missed anything out, but I don't think so.
Ooh, see, that's what they all say, Tracy. I'll put it on the screen. She's not going to get away from us that easy. Don't worry, Tracy. We were all camera shy when we started this, and look at us now. We can't get off the camera. So, it's not such a bad thing. No. It will be nice to chat to you. So, get in touch. Let's see if we can get you on the show. So, on that, I think, Graham, the next show is sort of dated for the 16th of June. Where are we now? June.
16th is a public holiday, if memory serves correct.
It is a public holiday. It is Youth Day. So what we're probably going to do, and we're going to see, is we will move the show maybe to the Thursday night and see if we can do something with the juniors on Youth Day. It gives us a bit of time to film and edit and get it out to you guys on the Thursday night. And we'll see if we can twist Tracy's arm here and actually come and join us and tell us a bit about her experience with and her kiddies at the school and SAP's meeting there. So, Tracy, we've got you now on Facebook. We can haunt you until you come and join us. And I think on that note, Graham, she's saying no, we'll work on her. And then, Tracy, at least maybe we can get you to send us a voice note or something. But as I say, we've got your name now. You marked. We're going to get hold of you. That's what we do. So, folks, yes, that takes care of our first show on the new name. And sorry, Graham, I think we must just say this. We said we're going to change the intros and identity and all that of the show. We will, but we will do it on a slow way. We don't want to just suddenly jump into something new. We'll get you used to it bit by bit by bit, and we'll make subtle changes as we go along until you'll suddenly see, this is something new. So keep on joining us, and it will change.
Yeah, it takes time to get that artwork all sorted out. But Aristo, thank you very much for having me on the show with you this evening again. And I trust you'll have a pleasant week further. To everybody else watching, have a wonderful week and look forward to chatting with you guys again soon.
Thank you, Graham. Good night.
Perfect. Good night.
There we go, folks. Another show in the bag. Thanks to my various guests, my co-host, Graham. He got thrown in the deep end here when I sort of started the show, and he's taken it on to our Mary Gary there for joining us tonight. And then Linda from the Rural Farm Watch, which we'll get back soon again. Folks, until next time we meet, good night.